Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chukunon So Captures, aka Mazi. Check on, aka the photo cosmetic surgeon. And I know why you clicked on this video. You wanted to know how to make your camera do new things. Teach you some new tricks, right? So the best way to do that is to do firmware upgrades whenever your camera manufacturer notifies you about them. So firmware upgrades teach your camera how to do new things. It fixes any bugs. It pushes any new features onto your camera software, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I upgrade the firmware on my camera. So come with me. Let's take a closer look, all right? All right, so this is my camera. The menu settings on your camera might look a little bit different, but these are the menu settings on my Nikon. So I'm going to show you the firmware version, right? So I'm going to go down to this wrench icon here, right? And I'm going to go all the way down, scroll down to firmware version. So we can get that. Pretty sure it's all the way at the bottom. Okay, so firmware version. So I'm going to hit that, and you see this right here, this top number with the C next to it, the C for camera. So my current firmware version is 1.21. And I'm going to show you the significance of that in a second. So 1.21 is the current firmware version, and that is the firmware that we are going to be updating. All right, so this is the Nikon USA homepage, right? So just navigate to this homepage. You could just Google Nikon, or just Google the homepage of your camera manufacturer. Usually they'll have the firmware updates available on their website, so just go to their website. This is the Nikon website, like I said before. I'm going to scroll all the way down. So when I scroll all the way down, there's a section right here for tools and downloads, right? And then here's a section for firmware, for software and firmware updates. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to bring up all these categories and stuff here. So you just select which type of, what you're going to update. So I have a mirrorless camera, so I'm going to click that. And it's a Z series, and it's the Z7 II. And then you're going to come over here to firmware, and this is the latest firmware. So this is the one that we had before. Remember that, the version 1.21, and the latest firmware, which was released not too long ago, is version 1.30. Right? So you just click on View Download page, and next, if you're interested in what actually changed in this firmware, you can just click this, and it tells you all the cool new things that your camera is going to learn to do, essentially, right? These are all the things that are included in the firmware package. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. But what you're going to do here is take a look at the instructions for updating it. And the instructions are listed here, but basically after you download it, you create a folder on your computer for it. Well, you create a folder first, and then you download it, and then you run it. And I'm going to go through all of these steps just so you can see them in action. And then you pop it onto an SD card, and then you put the SD card in the camera, and then you just update it. But it's pretty simple. It's basically you download the firmware onto your computer, you put it in an SD card, put the SD card in your camera, then you follow the instructions to update the firmware on your camera's interface. So I'm going to go ahead and download this. So I'm going to hit the accept button to download the firmware. All right. So that has been downloaded. I'm going to go to my documents here. I'm just going to create a new folder. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it firmware update. All right. then I'm going to go to my downloads where it downloaded, right? And I'm going to cut this and then go to my documents, put it in here, and then paste it. Right, and then I'm going to double click on this to run it. See, and it creates this folder. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the contents of this folder and then put it on an SD card and then pop that SD card into my camera to update the firmware. First though, I'm going to have to format an SD card so that it's clean and there's just no problems when I put it in my camera. So I'm going to show you how I format an SD card really quickly. All right, so this is an SD card. So it's used to store all the pictures that you take with your camera, but it could also be used to update the firmware of your camera itself. So first you have to format it just to make sure that there's nothing on there that'll confuse the camera, just so it's clean and everything like that. Nothing on there so that all the space on it can be used to do the firmware upgrade, the update of the firmware, right? So I'm gonna pop this in here and show you how to do it. So, all right, turn the camera on. We'll go to the menu. So firmware is all the way at the top. I mean, the formatting, I should say, is all the way at the top. So format memory card. So you hit this SD card slot. So it's just gonna ask you, are you sure? Basically, because everything will be deleted off of it. So just make sure you put everything on, all your pictures onto a computer, back it up somewhere else before you format it, because it's gonna take everything off the camera. So you just hit yes, and it's gonna format it, and that's it. Pretty simple. So I'm going to finish the rest of the process on my computer. I'm just gonna turn the camera off, take the SD card out, and so follow me back to my computer, my laptop, and we're gonna do the rest. So this is the SD card slot on the side of my laptop, and this is the SD card from before. So I'm just gonna put the SD card inside the SD card slot, and just follow me to my laptop screen and we'll finish the rest. All right, so I put the SD card into the camera and that opened up this folder right here. If it doesn't open it up right away, you could just probably go to your PC or something like that and see what you got, any drives or anything that you have on your computer. But it's probably going to be named something like the name of your camera or something like that. So this is the drive that I just put in, and here I have the SD card drive, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this that I just downloaded, this folder that I downloaded that has the firmware update in it, and this .bin file, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it onto the SD card folder. And it's important to not put it inside any other folders, any DCIM folders or anything else. Just put it right at the root level, the top level. Otherwise, your camera might have trouble finding it and it might not do the update properly. So you're just gonna safely eject the SD card now. So I'm just gonna come up here and eject it, and then take it out of my computer. All right, so here's the SD card slot on the side of my laptop again, and I'm just going to remove my SD card, and now follow me to my camera, and then we'll finish the rest. All right, so now for the fun part, moment of truth. So SD card, I'm gonna put it in the camera. turn the camera on and go to the menu. All right. And then go to firmware version. And now your camera is going to be able to know, see this wasn't here before, your camera is basically going to be able to know that there's a .bin file in here, right? So you just go to update, and it's basically telling you that you got your old firmware version here and the new one, and it's going to ask you, do you want to update? So you just hit yes, and then you just sit and wait. I'm probably going to speed this part of the video up, but basically you just sit here and wait for the camera to do the firmware update. Yeah. Oh, and of course, don't turn your camera off, obviously, like it said, while it's doing the firmware update, otherwise you might mess something up. All right, and we're back. We are back. Okay, so so it says update completed, turn camera off. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna turn it off here, right? And you can basically just take the SD card out because you don't need it right now anymore. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like now. The new firmware version is going to be in there. You can kind of like pop this in your computer and delete the .bin file on here, or you can format it again like we did before. But I'm just gonna turn the camera on here and then go to the menu and firmware version, and we should see the 1.3. You see, before it said 1.21, I think it was, right? And now it says 1.3, and so that is how you update the firmware, and now my camera now knows new things. Cool, right? All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I sure did, and my camera, Ifunanya, enjoyed it too. That's her name. So she definitely learned a bunch of new tricks. I think, if I remember correctly on the website, it was things like aperture lock and some bug fixes for I think it was like focusing modes and things like that. So that's really good. So updating your camera's firmware regularly reduces any issues that you might have with your pictures, any bugs and things like that. So always try to make time to do it regularly. So to keep your camera operating well, one of the things that you can do to make things easier is to register on your camera manufacturer's website. Like I registered my camera on Nikon's website so that I get email updates whenever they release new firmware. So this helps keep your camera happy, healthy, and smart. So if you keep your camera in good working order, it'll serve you and your clients well. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Subscribe. Make sure that you please hit that bell so that you get a notification whenever I post a new video. Share this with a friend. And yeah, check out all my social media in the comment section below. And yeah, see you in the next video. Thanks. Happy shooting, my friends.